Our first teller is a dear friend of mine. I've known Wallace for maybe 7 years or so, and he is without a doubt one of the most interesting human beings that I ever met. Here's why. There we go. Wallace Bohanan was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. His father was a Cub master, and Wallace was both a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. He ran track in high school and graduated with no distinguishing merits. I just got to look at him and go, yeah. He joined the Army immediately after high school to try and miss the coming war in Indochina. A year before he was to be discharged, he was sent in combat to Vietnam. When he returned, Wallace felt alienated, as I think many of us would have felt. And he subsequently joined the Black Panthers. And if you have ever been to the African American Museum at the Smithsonian, as we were, we walk in and there's a banner of several Black Panthers with their fist raised, and the one that's right in front is Wallace Bohanan. He was in a short time, but he made his mark. All right. He was also arrested and jailed 3 times. And he went from Brooklyn jail to Brooklyn College, where he earned a BA in education and then earned a master's in counseling. And he went on to have a distinguished career in education. And as a Boy Scout, he loved the woods and later began camping in the mountains with his family. Wallace was drawn to the mountains of Asheville and has lived here for more than 20 years. Folks, my dear friend, Wallace Bohanan.
Well,
You're taller.
yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Well, I'm Wallace Bohanan, and after that introduction, I hope I can do all right. This story is about the holidays, the winter holiday season. And my experience with the winter holiday season has evolved since I was a child. As a child, it was wonderful and exciting. I look forward to the family fun and all the activities we were going to be involved in. But later on, as life evolved, it started to dampen my spirits a bit. Now, as a child, the biggest thing, the most wonderful thing about the winter holiday season was the people, sights, sounds, smells, tastes. All those things made it so wonderful for me. And also, love. It was the time of year, love, peace, understanding, sharing, generosity, peace on earth, goodwill towards men and women, children, pets. It was that was a season. And it was new for me because I was a child. I'm just evolving. Every year, my family would get in the car. We had mother, father, older sister, me, my younger brother, and my younger sister. And the 6 of us would pile into that car and drive from Brooklyn into Manhattan so we could see the big lights on Fifth Avenue stores. If you know anything about New York City, Fifth Avenue is where all the big, highfalutin, expensive stores are. And they would compete every year to see which window display would be the best. You know, the trains and Santa's workshops, and it was like things were moving around, lights were flashing, and people would come from miles around just to see that. And every year my family went. We would buy the chestnuts that the guys were roasting on the stands on the streets. We go to Rockefeller Plaza to see the Christmas tree, probably the biggest one in the world, as far as I could tell. These are the kind of things that made us feel good. We go home, have hot chocolate with marshmallows and cinnamon toast and put sugar on it. It's great for us children. And on Christmas mornings, I was the first one out of bed. I loved it. I'd get up and run into the living room there, and the tree would have all these presents under it. And here I was looking at everything, and as soon as I saw the ones that said Santa on it, I knew those were from my parents. Yeah. And my father and mother, they'd be up all Christmas Eve getting things ready. My father was the kind of guy that, well, he would make a gingerbread house. He would take these cookies, you know, that have the filling in them, scrape the filling off, turn that stuff into glue, and put the cookies up. I don't know how he did it, but he was that kind of guy. And we had a Christmas tree every year. You know how you decorate the Christmas trees, put the lights and the bulbs and the tinsel on it. Back in those days, the tinsel was like, you know, very thin strips of aluminum, and you put them on the tree. And when the tree came down, my father would gather up all the tinsel and he'd iron them for the next year. That's the kind of guy he was.
Wow.
And he would go out at the last minute to buy a Christmas tree. Now, Christmas trees in those days were about $5 a tree. And he said, $5? I'm not going to spend that kind of money. He'd wait till the last minute and go down to the Christmas tree dealer, and he can get a Christmas tree for like $1.50, 50 cents. Sometimes if he went late enough, he'd get the ones that were given away for free. And we'd take it home and put it up, and we decorate it. And when we got older, because we had the most beautiful trees in the world when we were children, when we got older, my siblings and I looked at the trees that we had in the pictures, and they looked like Charlie Brown trees. You know, we had trees like this, and then a big sticking thing, and one side is full, and the other side is, anyway. We had a good laugh, but when we were children, it was a wonderful thing. So then, after the Christmas decorations, and we would go downstairs, not decorations, after the presents. We'd go downstairs. I lived in the projects, by the way. We had like 6 buildings and a 2-city block area, and in the middle, big circle. We had our own Christmas tree, our own Christmas pageant, and the children, like from the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts, my father was a community organizer. And because of that, we would do a Christmas pageant, the angels, Mary and Joseph, and we'd sing Christmas carols. Man, it was so wonderful. I couldn't believe life was so wonderful and great. Well, I did believe it because I was living it. And then I grew up. And after high school, I joined the military. As you can tell from my bio, I was trying to get in and out before the Vietnam War. My first year, Christmas started to slack up. I was going home, but no Christmas tree decorations. Where was the community? Where was the family love? And then the second year I was in Germany. And in Germany, there were no decorations. What? No Christmas exchanges. What? What we did as soldiers, we went out and we got drunk. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Living the life. And then in Vietnam. Well, Christmas dinner was extra slice of turkey. And then I went out and got into a bunker and looked at the concertina wire, making sure VC didn't come across while the others were sleeping. Went through a whole year like that. No holidays, no special events, worked every day. So by then, the Christmas spirit had lost its luster. So I came home. Here I am, had my own apartment. And the first year I was there, the Christmas with the parents, nothing happening. I went there, had dinner, exchanged gifts with my girlfriend, and Bah, humbug. 2.5 years later, I'm married, 2 children. One is 2 years old. My wife had children already. 2.5 years old. A younger boy was a year old, and she wanted to do Christmas. Let's get a Christmas tree. I'm like, no. But being the strong man I am, she prevailed. So we got a tree, and then she wanted to get Christmas presents for the children. And I said, they're so young. They don't know a thing about presents. Why even spend the money? And she said, that's what we're going to do. And me being the strong man, I said, yes. So the Christmas happened, and the lights were on the trees, and the children opened up their presents, or we helped them. And they played with the presents for a little while, and then they started playing with the wrappings and the boxes, forgot the presents. And I said, see, you see, I was right and you were wrong. Bah, humbug. Then by my second marriage, we didn't celebrate Christmas at all. We belonged to a church, and we celebrated the founder's birthday, which was in February. So Christmas went shoom, New Year's went shoom, and nothing was happening. Had lost that loving feeling. Well, my wife was going to therapy. Oh, maybe counseling would be better. Marriage counseling. She called me in to be in the counseling session. And I don't know what I said in that marriage counseling session, but the therapist said, you got PTSD, and we can help. And I said, yeah. My wife said, get out. Okay, so at the therapy, everything worked out pretty well for me, almost, but I was getting better. Going to Baltimore now because my first wife was there with a few more children, and I'm thinking, maybe we can get back together. She was thinking, maybe we can get back together. And no, that didn't work for us. Sorry about that. But one good thing happened. There was a community of Black men and women, children, dreadlock community. I had dreadlocks back in those days. And there was something called Kwanzaa. And they were celebrating this Kwanzaa. It was like 7 principles, of, Nguzo Saba, they called it. 7 principles like giving and love and unity and cooperation and those kinds of things. We'd light the candles, sing the songs, and exchange gifts. But they had to be handmade. Couldn't buy gifts. And we would exchange them. We played the drums and we dance. And oh man, I'm starting to get this mojo back now. Community, love, sharing. We found out after a couple of years that Ron Karanga, he was the one that brought Kwanzaa to us. He had gone to Africa and found out this African holiday called Kwanzaa and all the trappings around it. And someone else went to Africa to talk to the Africans about this wonderful holiday called Kwanzaa. The Africans said, huh? We don't celebrate. I never heard of Kwanzaa. We don't celebrate Kwanzaa. So they came back and said, hey, you lied to us. And he said, yeah. But we didn't care because we had an African-American holiday, something that we could say was ours. And it worked, really, really worked. So my mojo came back, my spirit came back. I had a tree outside my house in the front yard. And I would put lights on it and things like that. And I put lights on the porch. And we didn't celebrate Christmas, we celebrated Kwanzaa, but I made sure we had those Christmas holiday lights up. My wife at the time, was my third wife, she had a Christmas tree and she, really decorated it, put it in the one room. We had a house on the corner. So you drive past the front of the house and you had to make a right turn to go up way, and the house looked beautiful. I was so proud of myself. But the most important part of it was that goodwill towards men, women, children, pets, and everybody loving and sharing. That's the thing I like. I love the lights, by the way, as well. So now here I am in Asheville. Last year, after the flood, my girlfriend, Michelle, who lives in Asheville, had to come live with me. That was an interesting experience, by the way. And she loved lights. Now I live on a one lane road, it's like a driveway, really. Goes past my house up to my neighbors. There's quarter of a mile away down the road, maybe 3/4 of a mile up the road. Nobody comes down the road but my up the road neighbor and the people that deliver oil and things. So I'm thinking, why should we put up lights? And my girlfriend said, I want lights. And me being the man I am, I said, yeah. So we put these, they were beautiful, but nobody saw it but us. But you know something? I didn't care. It was like one of those things that I felt so good about. And this year, of course, we were in Asheville. This was Michelle, my girlfriend. She got an arm in a sling, so now I'm staying with her, which is even more interesting. But we have lights. We have lights. We have the Christmas spirit. And here I am with all of you sharing this. They got lights right there up there. Isn't that great? So my point is this. I may have lost something and may not be the center of my world like it was as a child, but I'm feeling pretty good about the winter holiday season. Thank you.